have a very special guest. She's a remarkable woman who has faced unforeseen challenges with strength and grace. Just after she got married and while she was pregnant, she lost her husband. Her journey through grief, motherhood, and healing is an inspiring one. And today, she'll love to share her story with us. Now, let's make welcome Oyinkansola, my darling, darling, darling friend. So, Oyinkansola, welcome
Good day.
to
Thank you
Good
very much
Day.
for having
Welcome
me.
to Evolve Chat with
Thank you
Joju.
for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We truly, 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 truly appreciate it. So, tell us, who is Oyinkan? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oyinkansola is um she's a woman, Oba's mommy, very important.
Yes,
Um
she's Oba's mommy. Yes.
Oba's mommy.
Yeah.
She's someone who loves God, loves her family. Um people call me strong. I just think I take it each day as it comes.
I think you're strong. I know you are strong.
I think I take each day as it comes, and I think strength comes from not having a choice.
Strength comes from not having a choice.
Yes.
So if you have a choice, you will not be strong.
If I had a choice, I'd just crash, but I don't have a choice. So when they say I'm strong, I just tell people I don't have a choice.
The only option
Yes.
is to be strong.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So let's go into how did you meet your husband, and what are some of your favorite memories?
I was in front of my house
Okay.
in like the ugliest boo boo ever. I think I was trying to pick something out of my car, and he drove past me first and said, "I wanted to talk to you for ages. I've always been shy. Can I talk to you?" I'm like, "Who is this dude?" And truly, truly, it took until we started talking months after that I realized that we actually did grow up together.
Wow.
Yes, and we were not in the same circle, so it wasn't for. It was someone that I probably would have just seen from afar. It wasn't somebody I had a relationship with. So for him, it was out of curiosity that he says, "Oh, this girl, I want to just say hello to her," and we just started talking. That's it. We had
memories.
Memories are plenty. In our very little time, because we dated for about maybe a year and a half before we got married. We were married for 9 months before he passed away. So we had a lot of memories. He was a very open person. He was a lovable person. I call him a lovable person because there's no how you will meet him and not just like him. I don't know how he was. I don't know how God made him like that. For me, I'm not a friendly person, but he was just like that. So lots of memories, ups and downs. It took a while for us to get our synergy, but when we finally did, it was good. So there's a lot of memories, lots and lots.
How did you cope with the initial shock after his passing? Like how did you take it? How was it like?
I've not coped though. I've not coped. I tell people that there are days I go to bed, I'm like, I'm in a very bad dream. I'm just going to wake up and
up till now you still feel
up until this morning. So I'm not coped. I'm just taking it each day as it comes because this was somebody I left hale and hearty, and this was 9 months into our marriage, so we were still in honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And I was just pregnant. So imagine honeymoon phase plus your husband is doting on you because you're pregnant, and then it's proof he just left. So I've not coped. I've not coped. I just have to. I don't like to use that word strong because I feel like women. I'm sorry, and I'm not. I call myself. I'm not a feminist. Women deserve the soft to be taken care of. Women, especially if you're married, to be pampered. So it was for me. I still take it that I do. Like I said, it's out of not having a choice because I woke up that morning. I remember on the third, I was getting ready to go meet him at the hospital because he had been in the hospital for about 10 days. So I was getting ready to go meet him. Apparently, he had died the night before, and because people were wondering how to tell me, so but I was told Because immediately I saw some people coming to, I was in my aunt's house there. I'm like, you know what? Let's go. If he truly died, when I get there, he'll wake up. That was the kind of
They, they told you before you got
synergy.
to the hospital, right?
Yes. I
Okay.
didn't even end up going there again because
Oh,
when they told me, they were like, oh, don't let her, don't, let's be careful. You know, she's pregnant and everything. So for me, I just feel like that shock is still something I try to relieve every day.
okay.
I try to say what happened. I try to look at the scenarios from. In fact, I think I'm getting better now. It was so bad at first that I remember I would. Okay, so because it was his death was due to a medical negligence. So the hospital who did the surgery, I remember the first I would call the doctor and rant and say, you killed my husband, you did this.
Wow,
Yes,
really?
I called. I remember that at a point because my mom had to take my phone. So when she took my phone, I would now take the phone again. When I finally get it, I'll say I want to go and use the toilet. I'll go and sit down
Oh,
there. I'll call the doctor and say what happened. What was his blood pressure? I want to see the case file. I want to do this. I want to do that. I thought I was pregnant.
yeah,
I did, and the
yeah.
funny thing is, I think the one thing that the shock gave me was I didn't even have a relationship with my son.
Mm.
I didn't. I remember that the first time I felt him kick, it's not that he hadn't been kicking. I just didn't resonate with the fact
Yeah,
that my
yeah,
child, I
yeah,
was even
yeah,
carrying anything.
yeah.
So they were even forcing me to say, you know what, you have to eat. I was just in that phase. I was just like, you know what, God forgive me. It was so bad at the point I was thinking, why give me this child and take my
And take
husband?
my husband.
Why
Why
not?
not?
I can always have another child with my husband. What
I
is the meaning
know.
of this? So I remember my mom, I remember the first day I had to actually acknowledge that I was carrying a child. My mom finally dragged me out of my room and said, you know what, you're going to my office today. So when I got there, she now called me and said, I know that what is happening to you or what has happened to you, nobody has experienced it. And only you can know and can explain what it is you're feeling.
Yeah.
But you're not eating, you're not taking your drugs, you're not, it's like you want this child to just
Mm,
go.
mm,
And I'm like, I don't understand what this child means for me.
mm.
Because am I
Yeah.
supposed to train this child without his
Without
dad?
him,
Oh, I don't understand. I didn't know what it was. It was that bad.
because
I
both
didn't
of
have,
you made the
yeah,
child.
so
So
I
why is
didn't
it
know
not her?
why is it I was angry.
Mm.
And so for the first time I actually cried. You know there's a difference between cry of I was shivering, I was crying. And I was crying because I felt bad for
Bad
my
for your
son.
son.
I felt like I had relegated him.
Yeah.
And for the first time, actually, it was like he answered me. I was crying and he was kicking me so bad. Mama was like, your son is just realizing because he's like, I basically neglected the child. But to cut the long story short, I was thankful that that day happened
Happened.
because that was the beginning of my healing.
Healing.
That was the beginning of my realizing that okay, Tosi is no more.
Yeah.
Because you see,
And you're the only
from
one left
yes,
for that child.
from October 3rd up until that day, I was still in the realm of dude just traveled, he's gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just we're just having a fight, he's gonna come back. I was legit having dreams of seeing us arguing, fighting. So I
Wow.
would wake up and say, we're fighting, he's going
We're
to come back.
fighting. Wow.
But it was that day that I realized that this child is here of no fault of his,
Yeah.
and I have got to be here for him. I have got to be alive for him.
Mm-hmm.
So from that day, I thank my mom for that day. I keep telling people that that day was like the turning point for me. And that was also the day I acknowledged God in my journey.
Oh,
Because up until then, I was angry.
angry.
I
Yeah.
was angry. I was angry. How does this happen? How do you get married at 31? And you finally meet this guy who everybody's like, why will you call me this guy?
I
As in,
know.
I don't understand. Why will you call me this
I
guy? If my mom will
know.
say, Tosin,
God
this
bless
girl,
you.
and she even up until that, she's like, Tosin didn't want that's your life. So it was like you finally meet this dude who gets you.
Yeah.
Everything is going on. Our jobs are going great.
Yeah.
We're having a baby on the
Baby.
way.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for life. Out, poof,
It's
life
like
just
that.
happened. So it was that was the day I actually acknowledged God to, you know what, God, you, as much as I know that this wasn't meant to be, but it has
Mm-hmm. It
happened.
has happened, and you're still God.
Yeah, still God. You don't stop being God.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's left for you to,
Mm-hmm.
if you allow this happen, then there's a probably a greater thing for me ahead.
Yeah.
Not just in marriage, in my entire life.
Entire life.
So
Mm-hmm. And
and
for your son.
and for my son, and like
Mm-hmm.
I keep telling people, there was one thing that people kept on telling me, and it was annoying me then. They say, "Ah, don't worry, when your baby comes, it will be easier. When your baby comes," I'm like, "Hello,
Hello.
I know, I love my baby, but I was also a wife,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also somebody's wife, and I'm
Right.
also a equal. So I have various facets of my life.
Yeah.
Yes, being a mom is the best of it all, but there are various facets of my life that I know that I still have to work on. So
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't compensate for every other thing.
Yeah.
So that was the day I just, you know what, I had everything over to God, and I truly have to say that that was probably the beginning of my healing. That was probably the beginning of me having to say, okay, you know what, we're going to deal with it
Deal with
and
it.
move on with life.
Okay, so while you were talking, you talked about people, how when it happened they were trying to you get shield you from not telling you and from you get and all of that. You also talked about your mom. So I would just like to ask how some other people when things like this happen, they try to stay away from people. I don't know, maybe because it doesn't help them one way or the other. They just want to be left alone. But for you, did you like people being around you and were they actually being supportive, or you just wanted everybody to go, you know what, just leave me alone? How were you able to manage people around you at that time? And I know Nigerians and Yorubas especially, we can be very intense when it comes to some of these. Sometimes we care too much, sometimes we say what we are not supposed to say, especially as a grieving wife now or whatever. You don't want to hear some things, but no, Yorubas will say it. So how were you able to manage that whole place? And were they actually supportive, or they were just having
We, we have a bad culture concerning grief in
okay,
Yoruba land. I'm
okay,
sorry if that sounds. I won't call it a bad culture. We have, I think
I
it's
think
just our
they're
coping mechanism. Yes.
insensitive, yes.
So when people shut down after things like this happen, now I totally understand,
Mm.
because people can actually say the wrongest and meanest things. Like, I remember people would say something and I look at them and I'm like, why? Can't you just shut up? Like, do you have to talk?
Do you have to say
Why?
anything at all? Like if you
I
don't have
remember
anything good to say,
I
just shut up.
remember that so after he passed, I went to my house, our home then,
Okay.
and I remember they kept on all people kept on saying, "Oh my God, we see so." I remember my neighbor came in and said, we see saw him that day. And I said he was going for surgery." I'm like, okay, why are you reminding me? You don't think
Mm.
that and I remember one person came in and said, but they have wait, there's something for me. I'm like,
Wow.
he called me and I was supposed to pick up the phone and say, sorry, my husband is
My
fighting
husband
for his
is
life,
life.
and then he finally died.
Mm.
So we have a nasty approach to. I know that some people think is out of care, but we have a nasty approach. For me, like the example I was about to give. So we buried him about 2 days after, because in fact that was still cause problem, because I remember that some people, especially my in-law side, kept on saying, why did she bury him so fast? I don't know, I was supposed to barbecue him. This was somebody who had gone through
So
so much in
much
the
in the
hospital. I
hospital.
remember even the night he passed, I left his side and I was asking God, I said, God, this guy is suffering. And at that point, his veins had started collapsing. So there were so many needles in every, up until his nose. They were finding, oh, his skull. So they had
So
to, yes. So this was somebody that had slit his throat open. It was in so much pain. So I'm like, you know what? This guy is in so much pain. What's going on? So this woman, or I'd say, she's like a family, very close to us in the family. She's not a member, but she's quite close to us. So in the space where I said, oh, so they said you can't stay in this house, it's too traumatic for you. I would have gladly stayed there and just be on my own. But you can't stay here. And there you're pregnant. It's too traumatic for you. There's so much in this house. So I said, you know what, I'll follow my mom because my mom stays out of Ibadan. So I said, I'll go with my mom. So I said, I told this woman who supposedly is like an older woman to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, you know what, clear my entire kitchen, give it out. Because there's no point in keeping stuff that I'm not going to come and get. And I don't know how long I'm going to be away. So I said, you know what, clear my entire kitchen and take it out. If you need to give it to people, call our security or whatever. Just give neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people kept on saying they don't want because naturally it's something that is traumatic. So they say, we don't want. And I expected this person to be more understanding. But right there and then in my presence, she was saying, you want Berlin? You want Berlin? And I was looking at her like, I'm happy that this happened. It was her way of helping me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was making me angry. I remember I did speak to her. She didn't know till today. I have not called her to say, this is what you did to me.
Okay.
But I was angry. I'm like, who does this? Like, why are you revealing? I remember that even the younger kids that were around then, I felt like what she should have done was just, all these children that go to school, just give it to them and stuff.
Yeah.
But she was even holding it for them. I'm like, what's going on? But I felt like in her own way, she was helping me because I gave her the instruction that she needed to carry it out. But people will say the wrongest things, Joju. When you're grieving, there's another thing that you have to learn is patience and not being able to give a response because people will say things that you want to stand up, even when it comes to
eat you.
Jesus, you don't understand. People will come and say, "What is that? To for mole? What is that?
To formula? Like really?
Really, I'm telling you, people will say the wrongest thing. I don't even think it's out of care, but what's your da? What's your kiriko? I'm like, what's your die in this scenario? What's die in this scenario that you think that you need to? But in their way, they think they're trying to console me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to. And I keep telling people, and I'm glad for my immediate family. I remember then my sister would call me at times and not say anything. She'll just call me and say, "Are you okay?" She'll just be there, looking at me. I'm looking at each other via video call. And she'll just be looking at me. She'll just be looking at me. I find more solace in that than when you come. And I remember, another thing was, I don't blame them because I think it was their own grieving process. It was his family, my in-laws. They called me and talked for 2 hours, and they tried to relieve his this, and they tried to say, "Boya Kaliko Lobai, Boya." I'm like, and then I was trying not to be brash. I did also grief. Yes, so I did need a lot of those conversations, but I didn't have a choice. But my mom, God bless her soul, she knew that a lot of these things were getting to me. So there sometimes she'll say, you know what, turn off your phone. Just sleep. She'll say, and funny thing, I had a very uneventful pregnancy. Maybe because I wasn't resonating with it. Because normal pregnant people will have cravings or they'll say, I didn't have it, I just waking up sleeping, eating, and going to bed. Even
because of the state of your mind, you're just living.
Maybe the craving came, so my mind did not resonate. The only thing I knew I was eating was ice. I kept on eating ice. It was later I even learned that it's actually a symptom of, I think, low iron or so. Yeah. So when you're pregnant,
so you were not using your
I was using funny because I was using self over because I remember my last PCV before delivery was 44.
Oh, okay.
And that was a lot because it's supposed to have like 35. And then
30
I had 44. Even after delivery, it dropped to 40.
Oh.
So of course I wasn't doing anything. I was just sleeping, eating, waking up. But I was using those drugs, but I think it was maybe that period. Anyway, so even when I started because I had to go to antenatal in another hospital.
Okay.
From where I was doing it in Ibadan. So of course it was weird. Who goes to antenatal with their mom? And naturally they expect that there's a husband in the picture, at least there's a baby daddy in the picture.
Yes.
But how is this lady always coming with her mom? And my mom is kind of person We are going together like this. Okay, mom, they've done my vitals. Can I go? No, we are going to see
You're
doctor.
going to should be there.
You say, doctor, she's not eating. They say, doctor will be like, her weight is dropping. She's not eating. That's why. So it took, but my mom was always, because I'm not somebody who likes pity. So it's not the first part of the conversation I will give to you.
Mm.
My mom just believed that for them to understand where I'm coming from. So the reason we are here is because she lost her husband.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
So are you saying that, I don't know, maybe when you're grieving,
Mm.
you can pick the people that you
Yes,
want.
definitely
It's
you can.
advisable that
It is
you pick the
advisable.
people you want around you.
Very much
It
so.
helps a
It
lot.
helps to pick people that make you comfortable.
Comfortable, yeah.
And it helps to pick people that understand. They will not fully understand what you're going through,
Mm-hmm.
but they
But
sympathize or they empathize what you're
with,
going through.
yeah, yeah.
So let me give you an example. I was in a place where I was well, before my husband passed. I had a comfortable relationship with my mother-in-law, quite comfortable. But we just realized that, and all throughout that time while I was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
we were still okay. We'll talk on the phone. She'll check on me. If I remember, she came to come and check on me for about 2, 3 days. But the day I gave birth, we started clashing. It took a while for me to realize that she was also grieving,
Mm.
but she didn't. She was trying to push down her own grief so that she could accommodate what I was going through.
Okay.
But you see, the day I gave birth, something shifted in her. So it was like, oh, so now she has
She has it.
gained, and I
I
am the
have
one who lost.
who lost.
So that's the day we started clashing.
Wow.
It took a while for me to realize that that's
But the child is also hers.
yeah, but then it's different because this one that died was hers. This one that is alive is mine. So it's like, oh, okay, I used to have a son. I don't have a son anymore.
Mm.
Now she has a son. So it took a while for me to realize that why are we clashing? This woman
Clashing.
was,
Well, she
but
was,
then again, she was grieving.
yeah.
So I know a lot of people. I remember even when she was crashing, my family was like, just disregard them. They don't need them anymore. At least your husband is dead. But at the point I sat down, I'm like, this woman is going through a lot.
Mm.
She trained this only son of hers for 30
30
years
years.
and he died. Poof. And unfortunately, she was with him.
At the
She followed
hospital.
him to that hospital for that ill-fated surgery. So you see that minute where he never woke up again, she
Yeah.
was
They
there.
got there together and she didn't
Yes,
go
and
back with him.
so I felt like she has that guilt, she has
Yeah.
that grief.
Mm.
So as much as she's me and her, we're still not pally anymore. But then again,
Yeah.
I just always give the allowance of it's tough.
Mm.
It's tough. And I think the reason I understood too was because the day I gave birth to her, I realized that you see this one I
This
have
one.
it we're in this together.
Yeah.
So and motherhood changes something in a woman.
It does.
You just nothing matters again when you have that when you're looking at that child, every other thing can go to places as long as that
That
child
child
is
is
good.
there. It's fine.
So it helps to have people that to pick your to pick your people. It's I tell as much as
Especially people that will be very close
yes, and as much as
at that
people
period.
say, oh, you need no, you don't need people around you if you don't want it.
Mm.
Yes, you can easily slip into depression. But then again, people jab talking maybe for the word for the use of another word or for words of another word doesn't it doesn't help you. It just
Doesn't
takes you back.
back.
I had to consciously call my husband's sisters. I remember there's one who was always talking to me. And I'm like, you know what? There's some conversations I don't
I
want to
don't
have
want to
again
have.
because it takes me back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we're doing here, Tosi is never going to come back.
Yeah.
So what we're doing
And
is trying
after
to.
the call, you definitely go back and now, start
So it takes you
getting
back.
everything back
So
again.
it helps to make your choice.
Yeah.
Take your people, and if you want to shut down, shut down. Even from my mom, that I say she's the best of me. There are days I used to shut down from her. I just when it gets too much for me, I just shut down. So it helps.
Okay, so still on that, did you find any resources or support group that particularly helped you, that was helpful?
It's
Or
weird.
did you even try to look for any?
It's weird because I think my only support group, as cliche as it sounds, or my only support was the Holy Spirit. Okay, so because at first, of course, a lot of people will send you stuff and they'll just say, "Oh, you have to check this page out, you have to do this, this is like a support group for widows."
Mm-hmm.
But I keep telling myself that I'm not maybe it's the way I was brought up. Because my mom is she's a very you know her, she's very
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
strong,
Yeah.
overbearing, she's everything. My mom is just there. So she's just
And I'm just
she's just there. Like,
I know.
so my mom is somebody who doesn't like to show weakness.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of brought us up in that situation. And coming from a home where my parents were separated as early as maybe 15, 20 years ago. So she trained us to, especially us the girls. I keep saying that she spoils my brother. She's still spoiling him. But
I beefing the
she spoils
man.
him, but she's still spoiling him.
Okay. All right.
But for us girls, she trained us to be your own person and
Mm.
don't you're not expectant of people's
Yeah.
graciousness. She'll tell you nobody owes you nothing.
Nothing.
If they give you fine, if they don't give you, it's not your business. So every support thing that I saw that I was introduced to, it was
Mm-hmm.
like looking at the widows from the space of, oh, they are needy and helpless
Oh, needy and helpless.
and they need all the help in the world. Yes, we need help.
Oh, yeah.
Widows need
True.
help. But I didn't resonate with what I was saying. I didn't resonate with, oh, this widow is needy, helpless. No. As long as I have my hands and my feet and my head and my brain, I'll be alright. So for me, I needed to work from within because
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
hurt was not physical. My hurt was within.
Within.
It was for me. It was like, how does this happen to me, God? How does me say I'm gonna hear and wait till you finally give me a man of my own choice, and you finally do give me,
Yeah.
and this happens? Like, what? How does this work? So for me, like I said, I got to the point where I just relaxed and said, I gave God my all. So you know what? If how I'm going to survive is you. How I'm going to live is you. When this boy is old enough to start having mannerisms and things that his dad should do for him, is you. So I I for one did not I just didn't it didn't work for me when it comes to all this.
Maybe
Oh,
join a group
join this. It
and
didn't
all
work for
that. It
me.
didn't
It didn't
work.
work for
Yeah.
me. It
Especially since those things that you get physical. You
yes,
needed something
it
from
didn't work for
within.
me. And God so good that my husband, God rest his soul, the little that he was able to do while he was alive made us in a kind of comfortable
Comfortable
position for a while.
position.
So I was not in the space where I needed to, oh, say I'm in this
I'm in
situation or
need.
I'm in need.
I need
And
to
because most of those support groups, all I saw there was their needs and
help
wants.
them. I need this. I
And
need money to pay
you
this. I
get
need money to pay
everything
that.
I saw there was, oh, I need this, I
And
need
you
that.
just needed someone to just hold your
I
hands
just
and
needed
just,
this guy to wake up. Like, that was all I needed. I didn't need any other thing. I just wanted this dude to walk through the door and say, let's go
let's
home. That
go
was
home.
all I really needed at that point. Like,
Mm.
I didn't wa- I keep telling people I didn't even know if they were selling food in the market. As long as there was food in my house, I don't care. So I think the only part that I now the only part that I um exhibited my issues was when I was getting ready for my son. I just went overboard.
Mm.
My mom would say, "Oh, take more juice. Oh, what you?" I said, "No, just leave me," because I felt some kind of guilt. Like, this dude
At the
has
beginning,
it
I
was not
was
his, this is
in,
not his fault,
yeah,
and I don't want this boy to ever miss the fact that his dad is not here.
yeah. I was
So
going to ask ask that question that how did you prepare for the delivery without him? How was your, at that point where you were
Ah,
okay
that was
dying,
it hit me
dying?
because this was maybe 2 months into my pregnancy. He had ordered my baby's coat. He had ordered his wardrobe. He already said it. I remember my mom to travel at that point. So he sent her, he was like, Mommy, you have to buy this. We were already getting ready. So he was even much more excited than I was. I remember we had a fight, maybe like 2, 3 weeks before. And I was like, I told you to write the list of things that we need. So that every month I'll be buying a small small. I say, Baba, calm
Calm
down. You
down.
know, what happened? Calm down. Maybe they carry the belly. In fact, I was like, come. I should have get belly for you before. Why are you so excited? What's the
Wow.
deal? So it was like me now having to do all that on my own.
Own.
And of course, I used to tell people that at that point, I think retail therapy was helping me because I was just
Buying.
buying and buying. And my mom was like, what is all this way? At the point, I realized I would buy the same maybe clothes, maybe 2, 3 times. I won't know. I have bought it. It was
Oh,
that bad. So
wow.
I was buying shoes for somebody that I don't even come out of my belly.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, those are the little things that I was. But at that point, and like I said, you need to have people that understand you
Yeah.
at that point because some other people could have said, "Why? What are you buying? What?" But my mom would say, "You know what? If it makes her happy, just
Makes you
let her."
happy, yeah.
In fact, the other day she would give me money. She just randomly send me money and say, "Is there anything you need
You
again?" I'm
need
like, "I
again.
don't know anything." Okay, but she knows that before. So in a way, it was um, it was rough. Getting ready for the baby was rough. And then, of course, I had to come back because I wanted to give birth in this town. I
Okay.
just wanted to. I
Any
tried going
particular
abroad.
reason?
I guess it was just, I was so attached to the fact that, like I said, I was still in my mind was still telling me, Jude is
It's
coming back.
coming back, so yeah,
So I
when it
wanted to
comes,
be in this vicinity that,
vicinity.
in fact, where I was living is like how many places to where I finally got a new apartment because it was like, so that he'll be able to know where we are living. In my mind, I still felt like I just wanted to feel connected. I remember something happened when he first passed. So immediately we did the funeral, I left. But because we buried him in the private cemetery of the outskirts. So I remember I kept on telling one of his uncles, but we're quite close, and I'm like, I need to do his tombstone.
Okay.
That I needed to first of all memorialize him
Mm-hmm.
because I want somewhere that I can finally take my son when he's old enough to
Yeah.
say this is where your father
Mm-hmm.
lay.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want it to just be some scrub in the sand. So I remember that unfortunately, it was during the rainy season. So I tell you that every time it rained, I will call this one and say, "You have not done this tombstone. Rain is busy toasting. No, rain is not busy toasting. Rain is busy." I will be crying
Wow.
every time it rained. At a point, the man said, they called, they're almost ready. But whatever the cost, I will pay it. They say, I know you, no problem. You should go and do it. Their rain is busy toasting. The man probably left his job for like 2, 3 days. Went to sit down with the Bible people and said, people should do this girl's tombstone before it wasn't funny. I would call him even if it was middle of the night. I would say, rain is busy toasting, rain is busy toasting. But it was, I think at a point, that the rain is actually not busy toasting. It's just your own coping mechanism. So,
Yeah.
like I said, grief does a lot of things to you.
Yeah.
There's some things you never expect that you do in life. So I was getting ready to deliver and I came back to Ibadan. So I went back to the hospital where I was doing my
Mm-hmm.
antenatal.
Antenatal.
And because of the kind of person my husband was, you knew
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
The whole hospital knew him for
Exactly.
Beyonce. The whole hospital, and the good thing was he was working with an HMO, so he was very in tune with a lot of hospitals. So the whole hospital knew Tosi or Beyonce.
Mm.
In fact, then I remember when I go for antenatal, I'll go and hide in one place because he'll be talking to
Talking to
everybody.
everybody
And I'll just go and
around.
hide and say, let me just do this antenatal and go home. So it was like a lot of people didn't even know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they saw me, where is Mr. Tosi? I'll say it's fine.
It's fine.
Did he travel? Yes.
Did you travel? Yes.
Yes, that's why I was
Okay.
when people like them.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that I fell into labor on a Sunday morning. So when we got to the hospital, my doctor, the only person that I actually came out with was the doctor I was treating me then. So he was asking of me. Fortunately, it turned out to be a cousin to one of my friends. So then I was like, ah, we can come back to Ibadan, take care of her. I didn't know that my husband had told people in the HMO office that when his wife comes to deliver, that we want a private suit, we want a this and that. So
He
my mind,
did.
I'm telling you. So I delivered. In fact, all the nurses there, like, ah, Mr. Tosi's wife, Mr. Tosi's wife.
He didn't even know your name.
Nobody knew who I was. They just knew I was Mr. Tosi's wife. So immediately I delivered. I had like one of the fastest moves to the ward. They was like, ah, no, he was in the private suit. Can you I'm like, okay, what's
How?
happening?
What's going
No,
on?
no, Mr. Tosi has already said, Mama, I'm thinking, how do you plan somebody's delivery? So all that just made my hospital stay seamless. I was spoiled by doctors. They were just, in fact, you came to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
there was so much food, so much everything. And I feel like, in a way, it is good to be good because
Yeah.
my husband was good. He was not a saint, he was not an angel, but he always tried to leave a lasting impression with anybody he met. And that I felt like worked for, it still does for him. People would hear my son, they'll be like, wait, Tosi Olobola, which one? You say you're Olobola's son. Yeah. And then before we do in school, as much as the school, because the school is like our church school, they're always dotting on him, like, you should leave this boy, you should not spoil him. But the truth is, it's part of, I guess he's just enjoying part of his father's gracefulness, rather.
Gracefulness. Yeah.
So, in a way, it's, 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 it wasn't easy because I remember that my delivery was my mom. The of course, trust Nigerian hospitals. No, your mommy cannot follow you. If your husband is not here, of course, the man will know. The husband is not here, then you go in alone. I just smiled at her. My mom now called her to the side and said her husband can't be here because her husband is not around. This is what happened. And there was an immediate switch. And this is
Wow.
me that I was already angry at the Nigerian medical system because it was this same medical system that killed Tosi. It was this
Yeah.
same medical
Yeah.
system that
Yeah.
dragged things for, I'm sorry, I'm going to name names. It was UCH. So do you understand? So I was already angry.
I
Like,
know.
why you people, what's angry you people? Can't you just be nice?
Nice.
So
Do you have
you
to
have
know
to be,
this before
exactly,
be
that's
nice?
one thing that
Yeah.
I don't like in
Just
this.
be nice.
Be nice. You don't have to know that this is what happens
Something.
to this person
Yeah.
before you now
Yeah.
change.
Mm-hmm.
So you had been horrible to me as I was going into the theater, of which you now came and said, sorry my dear, don't sorry me because you were mean to me in the beginning, so don't be sorry to me. But like I said, I think it's just our culture,
Yeah.
and because the country is even rough anyway, so
Yeah.
everybody's angry.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it just helps to be nice because you truly don't know what people are
Are
going
going
through.
to. I don't know this question. Is there anything you would have done differently during your time of grief? Is there anything that you felt, oh, I shouldn't have done this. I should have done it this way.
I would have kept my mouth shut more.
Oh, okay. About
So many things.
some certain things or
Yeah,
just
so many things. So,
oh,
like I said, people grieve differently.
okay.
And there are a lot of people that were going through some stuff or going through their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And but in my space of thinking, we're grieving the same.
Oh,
I was trying to be, oh, we're going through the same
we're
thing.
going
So
through
this
the
is
same thing. This
how
is
we can be better. But then again, a lot of people just look at you and like, how have you moved on? It's not like you've moved on. It's just that you're trying to live your life and
and you're
not
trying
die.
to be
And you're
strong.
trying to
You're
be,
totally not strong because I know that there was something remarkable you were doing then. I remember coming to your house afterwards and we were all there. I was trying to hold back tears because I was just like, no, 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 no. And you were the one literally preaching to everyone that you know what, he's in a better place, he's good, stop crying. I remember you holding Tosin's sister. She was really, and you were holding her, you were petting her, and I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it cannot be.
So
What's going on here?
people
And
found,
I could not even. I had to run outside to go and cry because I'm like, I cannot even do this when you're. Well, it wasn't like you were not grieving, but I don't know that where that strength came for you, but my
That's what
God.
that's why I said at times it's good to keep your mouth shut, but because you see all that attitude, people saw it as, oh, she's moving on so far.
Really? I did not see that.
They felt like, oh, she's it's like she's having it good.
Oh.
But then again, this was me who had.
But you know, you were also drawing strength from all of those things you
That's
were
what I
saying.
didn't understand because I kept on. I was telling people it's okay, but
Mm.
then I was telling myself,
Yeah.
because at that point
I knew you were
I
doing
was
that.
not in.
Yeah.
I was not in this world. I was
Yeah.
just. I remember that the first time I truly cried was maybe the second after we went to my house. We go back to my house the next day. So I
Mm-hmm.
slept. And I remember that I dozed off. Apparently, I didn't even be drugged and it didn't work.
Okay.
So I slept. My mom was beside me, and all my aunts came. So all of them slept on the same bed with me. I don't know how they all managed to sleep on that bed. And I woke up. And normally when I wake up, I will just turn and say, and I woke up and I'm like,
Who are these women?
what's happening?
What's going on?
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then that's when it hit me like, oh wow,
Oh.
this dude. So you see that day you came and I was at that point I was still in the they're going to call us that he's going to wake that he woke up. So that's when I realized that,
So you're
oh
saying
wow.
that you should not have said all of that. Why? To
It's not that I
please
should
them
no, it's not that I
or
shouldn't have said all of that. Like I said, people grieve differently and we
yeah.
were trained differently.
Yeah.
So what I will see in you and characterize as strength,
Mm-hmm.
somebody will see it in you and characterize as arrogance.
And also the place of the Holy Spirit.
Exactly.
Because not everybody
Get that.
gets that.
Like I remember one of the men of God that spoke to me said that nobody can comfort you, and it's true.
Mm.
When you're going through grief, nothing anybody can take and take that. That comfort comes from the Holy Spirit.
Mm.
So I remember I used to have conversations with Holy Spirit and say,
Mm-hmm.
he let us see that. Serious, I used to have that conversation like you actually you know that Tosi has a son that is waiting for and you let him die. Like how am I supposed to do it? And those words will come. And it was as bad as I would pick up my phone. There are days I would have thought so many things and I'll pick up my phone. And the first five uh, inspirational quotes I get will be talking to me exactly.
Exactly.
I know that they say it's algorithm, but I know that there's Jesus or algorithm. Or there's the algorithm where there's some words that just come to you at that point that you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when you know that, okay, yeah. And it pays to also, it also helps to be closer to God at that point because there's nothing else for you to think about. Yes, you can be angry, but it doesn't stop God being good. So I think that's where I got that. That's where I got it from. But like I said, well, what I would have done differently, kept my mouth shut more. Maybe try to, um, like I said, pick your people.
Your people and
So
to
when you
learn. So
pick
when
your
you're
people,
yeah,
when you are talking, they
they
understand you.
understand you.
They
Yeah.
are not saying it from the place of, they are not saying something else.
Yeah.
Do you
They
know, I can
understand
tell
what
you
you're saying because also they understand God. They understand
the place
the
of
place
God.
of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
So they know that you're saying
Yes.
these things to also edify
Yes.
yourself
Yes.
also.
So
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
one thing I would have
But
done
others,
differently.
they don't know that.
They don't get it. I
They
remember
don't.
my father-in-law would call me and say so many things. And she say, they killed me. They did this. And I told her one day, I said, mommy. And then she was always saying, she better be it. I said, yes, mommy, you're caught. But let me tell you something. I'm not saying they did not kill me. But nobody can kill anybody unless God says
God says.
it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if God says it's okay, I believe that there's a greater purpose.
Yeah.
Because his thoughts towards me are of good and not of evil.
Mm.
And his thoughts towards Tosi too are of good and not of evil. So maybe if he stayed alive and he was a vegetable, because at the point he was getting a vegetative state. So if he stayed alive as a vegetable, would you be happy? Then they'll say, at the point she said, I will carry my sin about. But it's easy.
Is it? Is it?
You know, there's some little things that, like I said, maybe just keeping my mouth shut a little more.
A little more. Yeah. What advice would you give to others experiencing something like this? What is that thing that you think
There's
that
no
they can
advice, so
hold on?
you can't advise somebody grieving.
Wow. Okay.
Grieving is, or let me say grief.
Great. Mm-hmm.
It's a personal journey. There's no two way.
Wow.
So it might be your husband, it might be your brother, it might be your sister, it might be your mom, it might even be your dog, no matter how close you are to the dog.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different journey because
And it's personal.
yes, everybody is different to everybody.
Yeah.
People will lose their husbands and be relieved. All that grief. And people will lose their husbands and say, you know what, move on. All that grief. Grieving is a personal journey. There's no advice. The only thing is speak to God.
Stick to God.
Speak to God. God is the only person that understands what you're going through. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Because even if you find somebody
Yeah.
who, like I said, those resource things they work for you because as much as they call themselves widows, I did not resonate with them.
Yeah.
At a point, I found it hard to understand the word widow. I found it very hard to accept that I'm a widow. I said, you know what, my husband died. I rather say my
I don't
husband
want
died.
that tag.
I don't want that tag. I rather say my husband died than say I'm a widow. So um there's no advice. It's a personal journey. But it's a personal journey with God. It's only God that can help you with that journey. I'm still going through it. I've not ended. That's not ended. Like I said, it's not a one day
One
journey.
day. Yeah.
It's that if I marry a man today and have 3 children tomorrow, there's still a part of me
Mm-hmm.
that always that I lost.
Yeah.
There's still a that it's hard. That's why I said it's a personal journey. There's no how. There's still a part of me that because to and to the to the greatness of God, I have a sword for him.
Yeah.
So when I see him, I know that this. So that also helped me by healing because I know that this is a part of
To
truth for
sing.
me. So
And I have him.
so it's a journey. It's a personal journey, but it's only a journey that can be walked with God.
With God.
Or
Yeah.
whatever. Let's not box ourselves. Whatever spirituality or higher connection you have.
That you have.
Yes.
And just stay with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much,
Thank you.
Oyinkansola.
Are you crying? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
You had water in your eyes.
Wow. Are you
All right.
crying?
Thank you
You're
so much
welcome.
for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you for sharing your story with
Thank
us.
you.
And like you were saying that you don't see yourself as being strong, but truly you are
I
strong.
don't see
You have
myself.
so much strength inside of you, and we wish you the very
Thank
best.
you.
Say, Mommy Oba, we
Oba.
love Oba,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
say us well to him.
I
Thank you
will.
so much
I
for
will.
coming
I
to
will.
the show.
Thank you
so
very
much,
much.
my darling. Yeah.
When I was very little, when I was this small, they said I was the future, they said I owned it all. But being a true believer meant something different. And